Welcome to Bedcrime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. If you like all things true crime, if you like it delivered in a peaceful, tranquil manner, if you like it clear and concise without drama, then I highly recommend you subscribe. And if you like what you hear, please smash the like button. It's a free way you can help. And now, without further ado, let's dig in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are all enjoying your Sunday. We had more drama last night on the YouTube streets. A channel called Smiley's World had a number of exceptional creators on her show last night, including a guy named Trevor Lee of TrevTime, Josh of the Lab, J is for Justice, that guy Justin, I believe. Some of these creators were there to support Trevor Lee. Trevor picked up the Sebastian Rogers case from the jump before it was a big story. In essence, he's the one who made it a big story, at least on YouTube. Now, Seth met Trevor and they became friends. Seth came to trust Trevor. Well, apparently, after Seth asked his PI Chloe to step down, somebody leaked that nasty phone call between Sebastian's stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, and the other private investigator, Heather Cohen. This was the call where Chris Proudfoot went ballistic on Chloe, insulted and threatened both her and Seth Rogers. Well, Seth turned up on Smiley's show last night, and he shredded this Trevor Lee guy, accusing him of leaking that call, insinuating that he may have sent the call to his, Seth's mother, who does not need added stress in her life right now. Seth said that Trevor betrayed him, published private text messages that they had exchanged. The other creators came on board later to defend Trevor Lee because apparently he is beloved by many of them and the true crime community. I've never listened to him that I recall, but I'm going to check him out now. Apparently, Seth turned up on Smiley 2 times. The first time, Seth ripped Trevor a new one, as they say. Seth told Trevor and Chloe that they do not have the authority to send searchers to private properties. Seth just vented like all his frustration, and I really think that this is Seth losing it due to the stress of nearly 3 months of unsuccessful searching for his son Sebastian. It seems like he focused all his frustration, his grief, his anger over Sebastian being gone and not having any answers as to where he is or if he's even alive. Seth was apparently with his PR person, Tony Mathis, when he showed up on Smiley's panel. Now, Seth turned up a second time to apologize to Smiley. He said he loves her, he enjoys her show, he watches it, and he didn't mean to disrespect her channel. I'm going to play you first what Seth said to Trevor the first time he was on Smiley's panel.
I'm sorry. Is that you're pushing away everybody that's trying to help you? I'm sorry. Is that him himself? You know where I'm at, Trevor. Why don't you just go ahead and step out of Chloe's house and come on over, boy? Now I'll show you what a man does. Oh, you're really helping find Sebastian doing this. Hey, why you sitting there changing your face? Hey, what, can't spend the time looking for summer no more, right? You want to say where I'm at? You see where I'm at. You don't know what I'm doing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you on this panel right now? Don't you ever, and I will let this be publicly known, you, Chloe, your whole team does not have my blessing to use my name or my son's name to ask people to search on their property like you have a contract with me. Trevor, you need to go home, boy. This is out of your league. Is it? Because if I recall, I'm the one that's... Yeah, is it? Because if I recall, I didn't ask you to respond. I told you to get off the panel, boy. This is my son, not yours. My son, not yours. My son. This is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I named him Sebastian. I named him Drake. I named him Wayne. I named him Rogers. That's my last name. Take your Trevor Lee ass and fuck off, dude. You want to son, literally. This is my goddamn son.
Seth.
Now, after that, Trevor Lee showed up to defend himself, and here's what he said.
I'm so sorry, Trevor.
No, I'm sorry I came and did that. The panel's not the place, but the past 2 weeks behind the scenes, people don't know the amount of things that have been said to me by that man and the man standing beside him. And I've sat back and said, this man is a grieving father, and I've tried my best to give him the benefit of the doubt. But that stupid PR person sits by and tells me that I need to leave the case, that I haven't done anything, that he's here, he's going to get information, he's doing all this stuff, while the people who care are being thrown to the side. I get it. I know he's going through a lot. He should tell you guys how many times I took his call at midnight to listen to him cry because he was venting about his case because nothing made sense and he was mad at the whole world. Right. I've done nothing but try to find his son, and I don't deserve an accolade for it, but don't come in here and scream at me and call me a slime ball and try to take away my credibility for the things I've tried to do since the day that his son went missing.
I get that, Trev.
But I'm sorry your panel was not in. I'm going to get down and you can do your show. I should not have done that.
No. And I apologize, and I thought he knew he was on here, and I want you to know that I do back you, and I'm sorry, and I do want the world to know that I back you, and don't ever think any different, hon, okay? Because I always said from day one, I believe you'll be something, and I still mean that with my heart, and this has really tore me up. And now that you've had your say, just keep doing what you're doing, and I do want him to come up here so I can speak with him and say what I need to say, and if he's watching, I hope he's man enough to come back up here and let me continue this with him.
I hope any family out there, please do not bring on, I'm not talking about Seth, I'm talking about Tony, do not bring him onto your case. Tony has done nothing but cause problems. Seth, it was so much different. His team was all about finding Sebastian before this. Tony has caused so many issues. He has been blackmailing me for about a week, threatening to put out that I released that audio call, which I did not. Seth pushed it out. But they've been blackmailing me, and that's why I haven't been able to say anything, and I finally have this week, and this is what happens from it. I'm not going to be silenced and blackmailed over something I did not do because they don't want to take credit for it. If they're scared of Chris and they don't want him to know they released the call, then don't release it. They pushed it out. They pushed that call out. I did not. And I'm not going to be blackmailed because they want to have some sort of issue over me. I'm here for Sebastian, and I'm here for Summer since he wanted to bring that case up. I'm here for all the kids and all the families that I work with, but I'm not going to sit here and be run over because what I'm trying to do is bring these kids home. That's all I've been trying to do.
Absolutely, and I get that. Absolutely, Trev. Absolutely. Okay, Trev. Thank you, hon, and you take care of yourself, okay?
So, according to Trevor Lee, Tony Mathis, the PR person, asked him to stop working on Sebastian's case. Tony seems to want everyone who was helping Seth prior to his arrival to get out of Dodge and get out of the way. I'm quite convinced now that Tony Mathis is not an ethical man. Trevor said that Mathis has been trying to blackmail him behind the scenes to get him to stop contributing to the search for Sebastian. Now, last night when I heard Seth come back up on the panel, because I hadn't seen the show before that, this is how I reacted to it, and this is what I recorded Seth saying. Thank you to Smiley's World for this content. If anyone has thought that Sebastian Rogers' father, Seth, is doing fine, is taking all this like it's no problem, that he's making jokes, that he's living la dolce vita with his GoFundMe, it turns out that he is deeply wounded. He is broken. And he has finally lost his composure. And it's no wonder, because a lot of people have been questioning him, telling him that he needs to step up to the plate and take charge, telling him what to do. I mean, he's been attacked by everybody. He's been attacked by Chris Proudfoot, we know, Katie Proudfoot. He's been attacked by people who don't think he's standing up for himself, having this Tony Mathis guy as his public relations person. I know that Tony Mathis has not done well by Seth this past week because he helped put out misinformation that now has to be retracted. I made a video because SF Investigates had tweeted that Seth had purchased a new motorcycle, and he implied that he was using the GoFundMe monies for it. After seeing Seth tonight, I don't feel very good about making that short video. Saturday night, Seth turned up on a YouTube channel called SmileyStorey's World. He was really broken, and you could see exactly how a parent who loves their child, and that child has been missing for nearly 3 months, on his face and in his voice and in his words, you can see what a truly emotionally affected parent is like at this point. He doesn't know if his child is alive somewhere. He doesn't know if his child is deceased somewhere. He's upset that law enforcement has his son's belongings because he wants them back at home, because he hopes that when his son comes back, he's remaining hopeful that Sebastian will come home and will be able to go back into his bedroom and have all his stuff there. These people are real. It's a real kid who is missing. It's a real dad who is missing his kid and fearing the worst. These people that are going on TikTok and this PR person, I don't trust him anymore. But Seth is upset because people were questioning him for getting rid of the PI, Chloe. And he's saying that Chloe was not allowing him to search. She was telling him he had to stay home because they didn't want him to stumble across his deceased son, possibly. She was saying it was her investigation. He felt that she wasn't doing what he asked her to, and that she wasn't letting him in on all the information, and that certain leads that came in she didn't share with him, and then she decided she wasn't going to follow up on them. So naturally, he was upset. The more I hear about this, I don't really blame him necessarily for basically firing Chloe, although I think she was working for free, so can you fire somebody who's working for free? Probably not. I don't know Chloe, but a lot of people do. I know Trisha of Web Sleuths knows her. She said she's very professional. She's very good at what she does. She's not an unprofessional, unethical person. What it sounds like to me is her style of working wasn't really working for Seth, that the communication wasn't good. He needs to be hands-on. He needs to be included in all the information. And she apparently wasn't doing that. It sounds like she was trying to shield him from some of the painful stuff. And maybe, in her opinion, those leads were really useless. But he wanted to know about them, and he wanted to follow up on everything. Seth was also expressing that he was very upset with Trevor, and I think he's talking about T-Rev. I'm not sure. I think so. And apparently he's friends with him, and they talk a lot in the middle of the night. There was trust between them, and now suddenly he's blaming Trevor for leaking the phone call between Chris Proudfoot and the other PI, Heather Cohen. And there's a big hubbub about it because he's very angry, Seth is, and he feels betrayed by this person that he trusted. But Josh of the lab is saying that he's the one who leaked the audio first, I guess, not T-Rev, and he wants Seth to know that so that he's not blaming Trevor unfairly. But Seth just wasn't having it. He didn't want to look at what Josh was saying. And what it sounds like to me is that Seth is cracking, and there's no information, and it's looking grim. He knows that as more days go by, more weeks go by, statistics say that the child is probably not alive. Seth is also angry that that phone call was leaked to his mother. He's very upset. He's trying to protect his mom because she is also going through the misery of having a missing grandchild. So even though we're not hearing from these people and we're not seeing them search, They are going through the storm. Things are not okay. They are not okay. They are stressed out beyond belief. They are worried beyond belief. They're losing hope. They're trying to keep it. They're getting attacked left, right, and center. Nothing Seth does seems to be right in everybody's mind. Everyone's a critic of him. Everybody finds fault with what he's doing. Very few are just saying, Seth, we're here for you. We want to help you. We got your back. We don't want to take anything from you. We don't want to take advantage of this situation. I said it before, Seth needs to rely on people he knows, people he trusts, maybe good friends that he knew before Sebastian went missing. He needs people he can truly, truly trust, people that are not looking to profit off him in any way. Take a listen to some of what Seth said on Smiley World's show.
Miss Smiley, first of all, I did not mean to disrespect your channel and your panel. But I have been dealing with him, as in Trevor Lee, for a minute. All right? And for the disrespect, the distrust, and the betrayal that I feel at this gentleman sitting there backing up a PI who refused to actually do PI stuff for me like I asked her to. And for her to turn around and give him the audio file that got blamed on me for leaking, which I don't care. I've got juicier ones. More juicier ones.
Yeah, but Seth, that was me.
No, I did my own research, Josh. It wasn't you. It was out. Literally, somebody sent it to my mom. Somebody sent it to my mom. All right, my mom heard this before you guys even did. I sure in the hell didn't send no audio file to my mom. You know, she's got enough stress on her plate with her grandchild missing. I got enough stress on my plate with my son missing. And no, I'm at Beach High School, and there is no Christopher Proudfoot here. Nowhere. Like, literally, nowhere.
Yeah,
All right.
I think it was someone messing. I think it was a troll.
And I apologize, Smiley, because I have nothing but love for you ever since the first time I came on your chat. But when I find a snake that's hiding in here and sitting there doing nothing but harm to me trying to find my son, it does get me riled up. It gets me riled up because my son's been gone for over 80 days and I can't find. And people just don't understand what it's like to have a kid missing. I ain't getting nowhere. I'm getting nothing from Sumner County. And it makes me wonder if there's other kids in this county that are missing that Sumner County ain't even looking for. If it's not just my kid. There could be hundreds of kids missing. And they're not doing their job, and it makes me scared for every one of my son's classmates. All right? I am at my wit's end. I have gone so long at my house, walking into my house, seeing my son's room empty. He's not playing video games with people give me shit about. You know what? People are going to give me shit because I let my son experience certain things, like playing video games and not having somebody breathing down on him, telling him you can't be on, you can't play video games because maybe you'll talk to somebody. I had conversations with my son. He didn't even use the headphones. You can't talk to anybody if you don't got the headphones in. It's a PlayStation 4. It ain't no PlayStation 5 with built-in stuff. I don't own a PlayStation 5. People giving me shit because I want my son's stuff back. They took his stuff. That's all I have. It needs to be back in his room for when we find him and he comes home. Things are in the same place that they were when he left. Nobody seems to understand. I love my son. I miss my son. And I'm trying to find him. I'm out here today looking. Chloe kept me away from search areas. Plenty of search areas. Had people babysitting me because she didn't want me to find my kid. Well, we don't want you to come across his deceased corpse. Well, I tell you what, that's some type of closure. Me, I want to come across my son alive and well. All right? But still, to sit there and tell me that you're going to run this. This is my show because it's my son. And nobody's going to sit there and tell me that I can't participate trying to find my kid. All right? I communicate with TBI. If I go somewhere, they already know 2 days in advance, so that way they know where I'm going. Because by be damned if someone's going to tell me not to go there. I contact TBI. I have everything recorded in chats, text messages, so they know my whereabouts. They know my locations. Because if I am somewhere, they want me to call them if I find something. And every time I go search and I don't have anything to show for it afterwards, you have no idea how it feels deep down inside that I failed to find my son, which means I failed to find him again. People want to sit there. I've got balls. I just don't need to fucking show my nuts to everybody. I've got to find my son. It's not about this shit. I am not fucking Christopher Proudfoot. All right? I have respect for fucking people. But when people sit there and piss and shit on me and then bite me with their fucking venom-filled fangs and they're fucking poisoning the search groups against me, I brought people in that had no idea what was going on. I took regular people and brought them in for a cause, and that cause is dear to me. It's for my son. And then for someone to sit there and leak this stupid shit that really had no fucking meaning at all. It's a video file. It's an audio file. I don't care. It doesn't get me any closer to my son. Yeah, it shows people how Christopher acts. We all know how he acts. We all know how he displays himself. I don't care about him. I want to find my son. Searches are going to start back up at the end of this week coming up. If people want to come to the vigil and say a prayer for my son and join us for prayer for my son, please, of all people, come. I don't need the drama. My son doesn't need the drama. I'm tired of it. People say I cause it because I answer questions or because I'm emotional about stuff. But if you're not emotional about your child missing, was that really your child?
I agree with that, yeah.
I agree.
I love you, Smiley. I love you, Josh. I love you, Justin. I gotta go, though. And if people can't accept my apology, that's on them. That's not on me.
But Seth, listen, I love you, Seth. But listen, please, you're vulnerable right now, okay? That's one thing, you're vulnerable right now.
I also want to share sort of the custody of the private phone call that was leaked, how it went from person to person. So the PI, Chloe, had the phone call. She gave it to Tony Mathis. Tony gave it to Chris Proudfoot's ex-wife, Nina Gomez, to use in her custody battle. Nina then gave it to Trevor Lee. Trevor shared it with Josh of the lab. Josh spoke to Seth before sharing it. He asked for permission, and apparently Seth agreed. And that's how the call got leaked. I'm not sure who sent it to YouTuber Terry Lynn. Seth said that the call was not that big of a deal to him, which is kind of surprising because here he's been upset with Trevor Lee, expressing that Trevor Lee leaked it. And again, according to Josh, Seth gave him permission to share it. And Josh was trying to take the blame for the call being leaked, but Seth wasn't having it. He's blaming it all on Trevor Lee. And did you hear Seth say that he's got even juicier phone calls so that if he wanted to leak that kind of thing, he would have leaked other phone calls? Honestly, I really do think that Seth is overwhelmed. He's tired. He's stressed. The reality of this whole nightmare is really setting in. The lack of answers. Perhaps he's losing hope somewhere inside him, and that's what's causing all of this. He is desperate to find his son. That is the bottom line. I think we all need to cut him slack because we don't know what it's like to be in his shoes. None of us would want to be in his shoes. It's a person's worst nightmare. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments. and I'll see you next time on Bed Crime Stories. Hey, check out my video on the Karen Reed case. I worked really hard on it, and if you want to support my channel, one way you can do it is watching videos about other cases. See you next time.